Hello, and welcome back to Minecraft. Just before we get started here, I downloaded some mods. Apparently 37 mods, but mostly just for performance, keeping the performance up, and also being able to zoom in on things, of course. So, today, we're going to get iron. We're going to get a lot of iron, or at least try to. And that will be the main goal for today. But first I'd like to make a melon farm. Or rather, pumpkin farm. Maybe melon too. There it is. Gonna need lots of dirt, because I'll pretty much just make it like the other one. Gonna need a lot more dirt than that. And I'll need to go to sleep too. Just things keep interrupting you, don't they? I reconfigured the audio again, so maybe this time it'll be good. We just have to manifest the good audio out of it. Manifest it. Because that's how the world works. You manifest things, right? And then you get them. Gonna use 4 more jack-o'-lanterns. I think that the right way to get better audio out of my own voice, because I've been getting some pretty terrible audio out of my own voice, I think the better way to get my voice to sound better is to just be closer to the microphone. Because whenever you see someone on YouTube with a microphone, they're usually just about eating the microphone. They're that close to it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be closer to the microphone. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did not miscount. Thank goodness. I only look slightly less silly. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is the magic number. When you're on tilled land, on hoed land, it counts you as slightly lower elevation, so you can't place blocks underneath you. Isn't that fun? The main goal of this pumpkin farm slash melon farm is gonna be to get these lanterns, these jack-o'-lanterns, so that we can have these good lights everywhere, if we want them. Cause hey, why not have cheap glowstone everywhere? Eventually we'll be able to have real glowstone everywhere, but that'll be a long time from now. And it'll depend on whether or not we can get a certain type of farm going. So we'll just have to find stuff. later on. Find lots of stuff just at random. Lots of random stuff in Minecraft that needs to go right. I hope that the weird, sort of breathy sound is out of the microphone now, because I noticed that that was there, and I think that it mainly comes from, like, vibrations in the desk. So I've tried to dampen the vibrations. I looked for microphone arms on Amazon, and those are just $40. I thought they'd be way more expensive. And then pop filters are just like $10. So maybe one day, if this goes well enough, then I'll get some of that. Now, we don't want every single square to be farmland, because pumpkins don't grow on every square. They can only grow on every other square. So we want to plant in a pattern, a very neat pattern of squares. I guess you could call it a diamond pattern, and I've already messed up the pattern. Well, new pattern now. That's the nice thing about Minecraft, is that no matter how much you mess up, you can always just remake it later. It's kind of like Bob Ross in a way. This Minecraft game, you can always just redo it later. Unless you're on hardcore, then it's gone forever. There's another happy little accident, just like Bob Ross. Rather, that's what he said. He wasn't an accident, I assume. Whenever Bob Ross made a mistake in his paintings, he would always call it a happy little accident. And then he would paint over it something even better than what he had in mind. Don't go too fast, or else you'll make mistakes like that. But also go really fast, so that you make more mistakes. And then you get a funny compilation later. This game is hypnotizing sometimes, in that you can just get lost in these mundane activities. All in the search for that greater goal of whatever you're looking for, whether it's to make a huge farm, or to make a huge battleship. Half of this farm will be pumpkins, half of it will be melons. So that's why I'm only doing half of this right now. This whole farm right here will probably be wheat. Of course, later I can do a whole lot more farmland and then expand it all so that the melons have their own huge section like this, the whatever else we get, like potatoes, carrots, beets. And not by Dre, by me. I will have the beets. I like whatever I have to build to have this outline around it, whether it be a thicker outline with like a kind of a street quality look to it, like it looks like a street, or whether it be this little thin outline right here. That way you can sort of separate elements in your build. You know, like in a painting, you want to separate the elements so that each element kind of has its own space and draws your eye to it in a different way. I'm keeping the diamond sword right there because I want to use iron as my main diamond pickaxe right there. I'm keeping my pickaxe for diamond. Can I speak today? No, I cannot. I'm keeping my diamond pickaxe right there because I want to use it sparingly and use the iron pickaxe as my main one. Also, I figured something out while I was messing around. You push F3 and H, and that adds, or rather right now it subtracts, but it adds these hidden tooltips right there, like weapon durability, or tool durability. So now you can see all the durabilities. And eventually, when I get armor, you'll be able to see that armor has the same durability system that's hidden away with F3 and H. You have to push them at the same time. Gotta use some more wood. Gotta keep it on me. Oh, that's got done. But I'm not gonna use that right now. I'm just gonna leave it here. And then I'm gonna go mining. Gonna keep one stone pickaxe, just in case I run out of all my iron ones while I'm looking for more iron. How ironic. There's one achievement in Minecraft that just didn't make sense for the longest time to me. Isn't it Iron Pick? It just doesn't make any sense. What's the joke here? Apparently, if you just think about it, for a really long time, you might get the answer. Isn't it ironic? They thought it was ironic, not ironic. Isn't that strange? Thanks, Minecraft developers. Oh, well that broke, but we already found our first bit of iron, so the expedition is a success so far. We just need about 11 million more pieces of iron before we go back home. Looks like a nice sized vein too, very nice and veiny. Well, that just goes back into the cave, so we don't want to go that way. I'm looking and I'm seeing that my audio is a bit loud. My microphone audio, that is. That's the thing, I can't check it in real time. Just gotta wait till later. I always watch these uploads afterwards just to make sure there aren't any mistakes. Well, I guess we're going this way. Gotta get this water out of here. That's not it. That's it. There's always more water. There's always a bigger fish. There's iron. I guess we just got unlucky when we were going the other way, weren't we? Or rather, I was. You're not here with me. Or are you? Are you there? I don't know. All I know is that you're not here. And that's where I need you to be. Lots of iron, which is very nice. We want much more iron. Very nice. Very, very nice. That's the thing about mining, is sometimes you get tons of materials, sometimes you get no materials. And this time we're just getting tons of materials. We'll have to call this way the Blessed Mine Shaft, or something like that. There's copper, but I don't care about copper. That said, sometimes when you dig out materials, it'll have other materials behind it. Just like when you're digging out dirt, or the gravel. So you always want to be digging out materials, even if you don't want it. And that was a bust, so we learned nothing from that. It was a bust. We learned absolutely nothing. I think another thing I need to do is also project my voice more. I like to keep my voice down because I like to be quiet and not bothersome, you know? But if I'm doing videos where I want my voice to be heard, then I should make my voice heard, you know? Make it slightly louder. As in like talking range and not whispering range. One of those mods I got was to zoom in. I already told you that, but now I'm demonstrating it. Here, look, I can zoom in. But I can also zoom in further, and further, and further. It's an insane zoom mod. It's the first time I've ever really modded Minecraft like this. Usually I go for like mod packs that you can just download from a different launcher whenever I have modded before. But now I actually just opened up a mod folder in this one like mod system and then downloaded stuff that way and put it in the folder myself. It was really do-it-yourself type stuff, it felt like. So that felt neat. Always feels neat being able to do stuff yourself. Like making videos on your own, or making, I don't know, paper. I'm sure there's someone out there who makes their own paper and then writes on it. You see, I had a second shovel. If I didn't have a second shovel, I would have had to go all the way back up to the surface. That's why you always have at least 2 of the same tool on you. At least in the early game, which we're still in. We're still in the Tier 0 society. The society where we need to get tons more resources. And yes, I say tons more. I say plenty of things that are, like, not very professional. Like tons more or loads more. Tons more is my version of it. we've got 34 iron, which is pretty good. We're getting iron a lot faster than I thought we would. But hey, if you mine at level 16, which is iron level, then I guess you'll get iron. You'll get all the iron you want. That's diamond. I was wondering why that was there. I thought it was my other one, my stone pickaxe. That music is nice, but I had to turn it down to halfway because it was drowning out my voice in the other video. And that's one of those things I just couldn't catch until I watched the video back, you know? But you might not know that because you might not make videos. You should, it's really fun. Don't try to make it a career though. I'm just having fun here. Having fun, being creative, that's what it's about. That's what it should be about, at least. A lot of people out there just want to make the big money. But anyway, look, coal. Isn't that interesting that it's coal? Isn't it neat that it's coal right here in front of our eyes? Our human eyes? That we use to see that it's coal right here in front of our eyes. But anyway, coal is still useful. So we take that, we take coal around here in these parts. Now I'm excuse me. Now I'm wondering if whether or not the game volume just stays the same audio level no matter what that I put it on. Because I'm looking at the audio levels and they look pretty similar to what they were before in my recording software. That's a nice little vein of iron right there. If only it were 20,000 blocks long. That's what I really would like. Is a 20,000 100-foot long block of iron. Would you look at that? More iron. More and more iron. That's broken, but I'm gonna use diamonds to get that iron. 'Cause why not? That's what I decided in my mind, and then I did with my fingers on the keyboard. I should really make a staircase right here, and I think I'm gonna do that now as we wait for all this iron to smelt. That said, we do need an iron pickaxe, so I'm gonna get at least one more iron before we do that. Smelt stuff in like ×8 sorts of things. So like 3 times 8 is 24. So smelt stuff in times of 8. In multiples of 8, that's it. That's what it is. That's what it's called. That way you can use your coal and charcoal more efficiently. And efficiency is what we wish for. Coal can go in here for now, because we don't need it right now. So, I'm gonna make half of the staircase out of one material, and then the other half of the staircase out of deep slate. because I have more diorite than I do anything else, I'm gonna make it out of diorite. What did I just get rid of? Well then. Apparently if you push the number keys, you can just immediately send stuff into your hotbar. Isn't that neat? We both learned something just now. That is if you didn't know that already. You probably did, you smart fellow you. That is if you're a smart fellow. You might be dumb. I have no clue. So polished deep slate or other kinds of deep slate? I'm getting polished. Because that's my decision, not your decision. This is my world. And you're just living in it. I'm gonna put bread in my offhand because I'm almost definitely gonna need some running all this way. And I didn't. How about that? Gonna make this one deeper for each stair so that I can just fit the staircase on where, well, so I can just fit the staircase onto the height that the stairs were before. Would you look at that? Whoa, even more. Don't mind if I do. When you're down this deep, be careful of lava around diamonds. You might want to dig around the whole diamond cluster before you start mining the diamonds, just in case there's lava there. But look at that, 6 diamonds. Well, we're going home with our pockets full of change, aren't we? There was iron up there too. How about that? Just tons and tons of resources that you can miss. Just barely miss even. Just one little bit of iron. Nope. There's another bit. And there's gonna be another bit somewhere. I'm gonna bet a bit that there's gonna be a bit. Nope. Just 2 bits of iron. Isn't that fantastic, mister? Some of my references I feel like are a bit too subtle. That was a Fantastic Four reference. Whoever got that before I revealed what reference it was, then that's a thumbs up. You get a thumbs up. There's those cave sounds again. You know those cave sounds that are only meant to creep you out and tell you that caves are nearby? I wonder how anyone ever figured that out, that that's what the cave sounds meant, you know? Because they sound a lot more ominous than that. They sound more ominous than informational. Don't place your stairs upside down, kids. It can only end poorly for you. That is if you're making a staircase. If you're making an upside down staircase, then you might want to put it upside down. Food for thought. And not just because I just heard a zombie. That's 3 times now that I've put it upside down. Are you keeping track? Because I am. I am making track of every single mistake I've ever made. Now, the deep slate goes up 3 more layers, so I'm gonna return with 3 more, or rather 6 more, stair steps for those steps right there. Here's where it gets tricky, is when we run back into the cave. Because now it's like, well, how do we go up? Because so much of these stairs are, well, I guess it was just that stair, but those stairs up there are more built just in the air, kinda. See what I mean? Just kinda barely hanging on in the air. But if I made these stairs in the first place, then I can upgrade these stairs in the second place. Can you hear my breathing? My nose breathing? Can you hear it? Is my nose tickling your ear, fellow human? Ignore my oddities. I just noticed that it's very warm in my real life room, in my real life place in real life. I wonder why that is. It's summer right now, so that might be a contributing factor, you could say, if you want to use fancy science words. So many stairs that were placed upside down, wrongfully placed upside down in this nightmare mine shaft. Nightmare mineshaft. There's a tongue twister for you. Say that 70 times quickly. Or rather, fast, if your tongue can go that quickly. Or rather, that fast. Is there a difference between fast and quick? Can you do something quickly but not fastly? Or expediently but not efficiently? I think there are plenty of things that are fast but not very efficient, you know? Like speedrunners. They can finish a game in an hour, but it takes them 100 hours in order to get the game down to an hour. Like they play the game for 100 hours and then they play it once for 1 hour. And then it's like, look, I finished the game super quickly, faster than anyone else could have. But then it's like, well, did you really? Did you really finish it faster than anyone else? Or did you play it a billion times like we did, like all the other people did, on the planet of Earth that we are on? I like constructing sentences oddly. It is very fun, you could say. What is this fun you humans have. That is not where the stairs go. They don't go on the ceiling. What am I thinking? Don't put your stairs on the ceiling, kids. Don't put your kids on the ceiling stairs. That too. Yep, I knew that would happen. All that water from that previous episode. You see, it's a callback. That means that it's smart writing. That's what that means. Callbacks mean it's smart writing. You know? It's never just a reference. It's always smart writing. That's what a callback is. But anyway, there's the stairs just about done. Just about all the way done. All about just the way done, you could say. And now we go back and we look for 10,000 gallons more of iron. And yes, gallons of iron, because you can melt iron down. And therefore what I said makes complete sense. And not nonsense. That's a big cave back there. Don't want to get lost in it. Come on, swim. Swim. If you swim, you can go under some blocks. There are also other methods of becoming 1 block in height. But we can get into that at some point later on, at some point, which is the most popular phrase in this series, apparently. At some point, at later on. So much stuff in Minecraft that you just have to wait for. It's like Animal Crossing in that way. But unlike Animal Crossing, you can expedite the process of waiting by being a smarter player, or a more dangerous player too. Or a more dangerous and smarter player. Such nice music. I must admit, every time that I hear this music, that it's nice. To you, I must admit it to you. My dialogue options are very limited as a human being. What do you say, fellow human? Do you like this music? This human music? There's that dirt again. I'm not gonna go dirt crazy right now, but maybe I will at some point. Gotta get like 7 more shovels with me before I go all dirt crazy. Don't worry about me shoveling that dirt with the pickaxe. It was just a happy little accident. And you see, that was a callback, that was a reference. Therefore, it's good writing. Well, it looks like there's a lot less iron here now, isn't there? I think that what's it called? Diorite. I think that has to do with it. Or something. So thanks, Diorite, for keeping the iron away from me. Why'd you have to do that? Diorite is not a fellow human, and thus does not deserve the same kindnesses as a human. That's a lot of gravel up there. I might go for that. Go for all that gravel. Grabble the gravel. Here's a trick you can do with gravel. Well, not that. There it goes. I swear that worked before at some point. There's a bit of iron for you. We didn't entirely waste the pickaxe. Or shovel, for that matter. Ooh, even more iron. Well, well, well. I guess it wasn't that dry after all. This mine shaft that we're making, or rather that I'm making. I'm making it. Me. With my hands. My fingers. Where are your fingers? You're just eating a snack, aren't you? You've got your hands on food, don't you? I won't blame you too much. I like food too. For I am an American. And as we've already established, Americans like food. There's gold for you. Get one more gold and I'll smelt it all up. Or rather, 8 pieces of gold up. And then I'll use half of that gold to make a watch. And then we can tell what time of day it is from pretty much anywhere. At least in this world. Little do you know, there's multiple dimensions and different space-time rifts that we can open up in this game about crafting. This Minecrafting game. I could craft a mine in this game, but then it would be craft mine, and we don't want that. That sounds like a skeleton. Skeletons will shoot you with their bows and arrows. You know those things that skeletons classically have, bows and arrows. There's your cave sounds again, although that one, I don't know. I don't know what it sounded like, but it didn't sound like a cave, I can tell you that much. Copper, copper. And behind the copper must be iron, or else I'm destroying everything. I'll destroy everything anyway. But that'll be my excuse. There's also bats. Bats are a pretty useless mob. They have like one use in the whole game, and that's that they only spawn when it's dark enough for other mobs to spawn. So it's kind of like an early warning system for you to, for the game to be like, hey, you've got to light up this area more. But bats don't really do anything. They just fly around. Oh, isn't that nice? an end to a cave. Or some could say a cave end. Gotta get that coal, because you never know when you'll just want coal. You can make coal blocks, so that's neat. Maybe I'll make a ton of coal blocks, and then, I don't know, make a hallway out of them. We'll call it Coal Hall, and it'll always be on fire. We've got 4 more iron. Yay! That brings it up to 19 iron, which is a bit more than a 5 iron. I'm not sure how golf experts would handle this. Well, I don't have ladders. I do have a bucket, but I'm not a fan of caves, so I'm not gonna go up there. And that's the thing, I was never a fan of these big sprawling caves, and then they updated them and made them larger. And with, like, more branches. And then I'm like, in my brain I'm like, oh no! What have you done? But then I was also like, well, I can just keep playing the game like I've always played it, you know? Except for this. This is a more recent method I've adopted from YouTube people. And I just like this method. Normally what I would have done before this is just like dig a bunch of holes in the ground, like I did before. Like that one staircase hole, I would have had like 50 of them. I think that we have enough iron to make a little bit of machinery. Our first machine on the next episode. It's not going to be this episode. If you had your hopes up that this would be anything but mining and making a little bit of a farm, then your hopes have been dashed. You have no more hopes now. So what'll you do, human, fellow human? What'll you do now? Of course, you could always click on the next video, but in my timeline, in my current day timeline, that video doesn't exist yet. So really, I'm the winner right now. Later I'm the loser, but right now I'm the winner. I dashed your hopes and your dreams. I'm the winner. More iron. We all need more iron in our lives. Some of us, literally. Well, that was just 2 iron. What's up with that? Since when did they do that? Sometimes it's just 1 iron. I don't want just 1 iron. I want 11,000 iron in a 100-foot square. And yes, I use feet. I use feet for measurement because I am an American person. Just wait till they know that we use miles too. And yards, but not meters. Meters! That's what the British use, is meters. But meters is so inaccurate. How tall are you? I'm 7 meters tall. Or rather, the way you would actually have to say it is like, I'm 2.375 meters tall. And at that point, it's just like, well, how am I supposed to calculate that in my head, you know? But with feet, it's much more granular. It's much more detailed, so you can like say I'm 6'1", and then it's like you can measure that out in inches instead of centimeters and millimeters and kilometers, which is the longest one. I saved the longest one for last. That's 2 iron again, just 2 iron. What's going on here? Am I being punked? Am I on one of those prank TV shows where I get pranked? And yes, kids, that was a TV show before it was a YouTube thing, getting pranked. And then before that, it was just a thing that people did to each other. Pranking each other. For fun. But now it has to all be for profit. No more fun, only profit. I hope there are no kids watching. Not because I do anything that's that extreme, but just because, I don't know, I'm an adult. And, someone who understands these concepts should be watching. Or at least someone who wants to Google these concepts that I talk about. Because you don't have to understand it, you just have to Google it. Remember that, kids, and also adults. You don't have to be smart, you just have to Google it. Whenever on YouTube, you can set your video, in your video settings, you can set that it's for kids or that it's not for kids. I always go for not for kids. Not because it's an adult video or anything, but just because, I don't know, that's just what I like to do. I think that if you make it that so that it's for kids, it makes limited ads on the video. But right now I'm not doing any ads, so whatever. Maybe one day I'll have 1 billion ads, and then you'll just want to watch 5 seconds of the video before giving up on it. There's copper again. We don't like copper in this household. And I do mean the metal. I just realized I don't have any idea how much granite I have, or diorite. So I've got to keep those meters down there. Or rather, those blocks down there, so that I know just how much I have. And that's redstone, which is nice, but look at my inventory. Look at it. Look at it with your human eyes. See all that inventory space I have? Yeah, I have none of it. So I'll just get rid of a flint. Because I can get infinite flint later. Redstone is incredibly useful. Just not right now. Not as much right now, at least. Gotta get tons of other materials and then start making huge redstone machines that can move entire factories in one push of a button. Probably not something that extreme, but something I can actually handle, which is like you pull a lever and then it opens a door. We're coming to the end of the rope here, and probably to the end of the episode, because I like to make these things about an hour. And then we can just do some cleanup right at the end. Break, 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 pickaxe, break. Break now, right now. Haha, I won. Back up to the surface we go, but now it'll be a lot faster getting up there. Because, you know, we have stairs that we can walk up. We have stairs that we can stare at because they're nice looking. And we have stairs that we can build because they're made of stone. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just going nuts. All this mine air is getting to my head. There's all those materials, all those nice little materials, all in their right spaces. Isn't that nice to see? Don't you just like to see a well-organized chest? And no, not on a person. I make my own self laugh so that you don't have to. Now it's time to harvest up some stuff. I'm gonna place some torches out here just in case. And place them in nice orderly fashions. I know, not like clothes you wear. Some of those pumpkins are growing. Those ones look like they're ready to make some pumpkins. Those plants over there are ready to pump out pumpkins. Make some more pickaxes, because you always need more pickaxes. Always, always, always. Get this gold going. Get this melon going. Only got one melon seed from that one melon. How about that? And then that'll grow up to look like that. Oh! Those pumpkins look like jack-o'-lanterns. So those are growing, so that's nice. And then we're gonna harvest some of this, because a man's gotta eat. But actually next time we're gonna find a much better method of making food that will take infinitely longer to make that food. But once it gets going, it's like, it's a really good machine that you will want to have around. And it's very simple to make too, but we'll get into that in the next episode, in tomorrow's episode. The next tomorrow, which is tomorrow, that is the next tomorrow. Ignore my insane ramblings. Look at all that bread. 10 pieces of bread. 10 nicely folded, put together pieces of bread that we can eat with our mouths, like human people can. And there's your clock. It tells you exactly what time it is. You see the numbers on that clock? Neither do I. It just shows you an image of what time it is. But it's nice to have on you, isn't it? But anyway, I think that I've rambled long enough. I'll let you go about the rest of your day, however you do that. and this will be your view to end things on, or something like that. We jump up here, and that's your view to end things on. Look at that nice thing that I made, that we made. You were watching, but I made it. But so, kind of we made it, kinda.